You had an interesting work, Panish, and an interesting paper on succession planning, referring as related to offshoring.
Yeah.
I read it, and then it's very interesting because I think a lot of companies are moving into this direction of offshoring, what I would call junior level careers, right? Somewhere else. Usually it's lower cost countries, right? So they can balance a bit their price. And then your thinking is this might backfire because at some point you will not have leaders in the organization, you'll not have mentors, they would not know exactly what you're doing, right? And it's hard to move the employees from an offshore structure to internally. So how can companies overcome these issues? Is there a solution to this?
So it's interesting you bring up this idea on offshoring. So this is work I did, I think, almost a decade ago. It's suddenly become very fresh in my mind again because a lot of the issues that were present with offshoring also occur with automation. So the exact same argument can be made for automation. So for example, if you automate the junior lawyer's work, how do you create the pipeline of talent that will become senior lawyers? Right? If you automate junior doctors' work, then how do you get the pipeline? So same sort of problem arises. I think the risk is real in any profession or any industry where you have what I call a skill ladder. So skill ladder is when there are these rungs of expertise and you can't climb the higher rungs without having been on the lower rungs. That's not true in all industries, but in many industries, that's the case. So where that is the case, automating or offshoring the lower rung is automatically going to create a problem for you because you will have a shortage of people at the top. So how do you solve it? There are two ways to think about it, I think. One is to think explicitly about the trade-off between the cost savings today and the talent shortage tomorrow, right? That would be the best way to do it. Unfortunately, we know people are very myopic, right? Most CEOs are under enormous pressure on costs and on delivering results now. So I'm not sure many will think that way. A different way to think about it is to adopt an idea from the automobile industry, which is called plural sourcing or multi-sourcing. It's also a topic that I've spent some time studying. So what they do is the following. Even after they outsource the production of large chunks of their components to outside vendors, they continue to do some part of it in-house, even though it's completely uneconomical. So they will do a very small scale of their requirement. For example, 90% of my car seats, if I'm General Motors, might be outsourced, but I might still do 5% of it in-house. Why? Because that gives me the knowledge I need to control my external vendors. In the same way, you could imagine that even though we outsource a large chunk of the lower rung of the skill ladder, we might still keep some fraction of it, even though it's not economical to do so, more as a function of training. So it's a way to create the training ground and the pipeline from which talent might come in the future. So that certainly is possible. And I think that's the kind of investment that even the most myopic leader would certainly want to be open to that idea, I hope, because clearly the difference between doing it and not doing it can be very stark. Right? You can be stuck with no talent.